ladies and gentlemen, of IPSAS implementation by your governments, because I know here there must be somebody who is from Southern Sudan. I'm being told by Rebecca, it increases credibility and reliability. Any organization, ladies and gentlemen, that produces financial statements here that are IPSAS compliant, automatically their financial statements will be credible, and especially outside stakeholders will be able to rely on them. I like that. It improves reliability of financial statements. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, David Ngatia tells us that any organization that provides financial statements that are IPSAS compliant, in this case here, those financial statements helps in what year? Decision making. I can't agree more. That's very correct. That's very correct. So you'll get, for example, like now donors. Donors are able, ladies and gentlemen, to really make a decision of whether they're going to advance their funds, give grants to these, for example, government agencies quite easily because of what comparability. Because if it's KNH that has been able to put up their financial statements, if it is in this case here, for example, Kengen, assuming in this case it's fully government owned, that has been able to put their financial statements using IPSAS, then all those financial statements in this case here are comparable. They're comparable. Comparable in what extent? Comparable to which extent? Comparable in which way? Comparable, ladies and gentlemen, in this way. Remember, like if it's IPSAS, IPSAS 9, IPSAS 23, these guys will come and tell you that if it is revenue, the revenue lines, according to IPSAS 9 and IPSAS 23, the revenue lines must be two. Revenue lines, ladies and gentlemen, number one, we must have what we call revenue from exchange transactions. Revenue from exchange transactions. Revenue from exchange transactions, that is number one, the first revenue item according to IPSAS, which you have to disclose. And then number two, we have what we call revenue. Revenue from who? From non-exchange. Revenue from non-exchange transactions. So in this case here, according to IPSAS 9 and IPSAS 23, you must give us these two line items on revenue. Now, can somebody in this case here, before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, can somebody try to distinguish for us between these two types of revenues? What is, when we talk of revenue from non-exchange transactions, revenue from non-exchange transactions, what are we making reference to? What do we mean with this revenue from non-exchange transactions? Can somebody help me? You know, in financial reporting and advanced financial reporting, for the number of years that I've ever marked CASNEB exams, I can assure you, people do not pass because of the computational. Most people normally pass because of how good they are in the theory part. Look at, for example, somebody who tried advanced FR of last semester, advanced financial reporting of last semester. The people who succeeded very well in AFR of last semester were those people who were so good in theory. Because once umeiva theory sana, be it financial reporting of intermediate level or advanced financial reporting of what year? Advanced level, once you're so good in theories, you are assured of how many marks? 30. So out of 30, you can scoop 25. These are low-hanging fruits. You simply harvest them, eat them, and go to the next level. That is what we call seeing places that you've never seen before. Seeing places that you've never seen before. You know, most of us, I'm so sure, like right now in terms of revision, all of us are looking at the numbers. All of us are looking at consolidating. Very few of us, for example, here are reading anything to do with IPSAS. Very few among us here are reading things to do with IPSAS, for example, preparation of budgets. And that now informs my thinking. You can see it is only in this case here one student called Mweni who has been able to know the concept, or otherwise mentioned something there of which I can also see that, from exchange royalties. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. When it comes to revenues of these like government agencies, most of them I have in this case here what we call donors. Like if you go to Kenyatta National Hospital today, you'll be surprised. Donors are doing quite some splendid job over there. They're really giving donations to support Kenyatta National Hospital. So other donations, of course, will be coming in the form of what here? Real cash, given cash like this. So assuming in this case here, we have this particular group of ours here that has got 87 students. These 87 students, assuming in this case here today, we contribute each one of us 2,000 Kenya shillings. 2,000 Kenya shillings, that means that we shall have a lump sum of approximately 160,000. And then we say that these 160,000, we are taking it to Kenya National Hospital as our donation, So when we give this money to Kenyatta National Hospital, ladies and gentlemen, as a donation of 160,000, is there anything that KNH will be giving us in return for our money? Is there anything, ladies and gentlemen, that KNH will be giving us in return for the money that we give them? No. Meaning that they have gotten revenue without them giving us anything in exchange. All monies that they receive without giving any corresponding value of goods, stroke whatever, ladies and gentlemen, then automatically that revenue will fall under what we call non-exchange. So as I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, my accounting, I'll be having two buckets. If I'm working on a government agency or like the United Nations or like IGAD, like African Union, East African Community, when I'm accounting for revenue according to IPSAS, I have to have two buckets here. One bucket basically will be helping me to demonstrate all the monies that I received without really sorting it out, without, in this case here, offering goods in return, without offering services in return. That bucket is what shall be receiving what we call revenue from what here? Non-exchange transactions. And then now we have revenue from exchange transactions. Ladies and gentlemen, if, for example, you are to go to the United Nations today, you'll be surprised United Nations does quite a lot of business. If you are to go to Catholic Church today, of course, there are those monies which we give Catholic Church like offerings. When you take, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, you are offering to a church, that automatically a church should be able to account for your tithes and offerings under what we call somebody revenue from non-exchange, because you simply go there, give out your money, believing that God is going to bless you. It's a blessing, basically, and you can't quantify. The church can't say it's the one that is blessing you. No. So that's the revenue from what here and an exchange. But what if, for example, I took my son today to a Catholic school? You see, now Catholic Church will basically be giving me some service. They're training my boy. So it means that whatever revenue I'm giving them, there is an equivalent value in terms of service being given to me. So then that revenue, which in this case is coming from fees, revenue, for example, that they are generating from Mater Hospital. Mater Hospital is one of those Catholic institutions that are doing very well. Revenue, for example, that they're getting from Strathmore University, right? They haven't gotten revenue from Strathmore University for free. Students gave them that money for a service that was offered to them. So that means that that revenue will be accounted for as a revenue from exchange transactions, So exchange transactions revenue is revenue you are receiving simply out of offering some service, simply out of offering some goods. You haven't received it for free. Thank you very much. This basically happens to be financial reporting and advanced financial reporting, both of them. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is quite important. And why is it that these guys here thought of separating this kind of revenue into two components? Would want, especially the donor community. Donor community nowadays is quite particular. to assist organizations, even if they are profit, not for profit making. They would want to assist organizations that are so seriously looking for this revenue, right? They would want to assist, they would want to donate their cash to organizations, government agencies that are working so seriously, innovatively, to be able to raise money using what your business ways. And that is why I saw some very important person there telling me that, Mwalimu, you know what? Companies that make financial statements that are IPSAS compliant will always help, especially stakeholders, in terms of making rational decisions. Rational decisions, in terms of making rational decisions. So that is point number 2, comparability, reliability, decision making. How comes you guys really were not able to give me so many points? Increased transparency. Yes, increased transparency. Like now here we are able to see which organization is really, we are able to see through this company and see really what is their business model like. How are they able to generate their monies? How are they able to spend their monies, etc. Right? Easy to get funds from donors. This is quite similar to what we call reliability. They make their financial statements to be to be reliable. I'm waiting for one more point. Before I tell you what we shall do next. What are the major advantages of preparing financial statements that are IPSAS compliant? Major advantages of, I wish I were you. I would have even Googled advantages of preparing financial statements that are IPSAS compliant. Which are IPSAS compliant, Doris? We had already raised that. Comparability, where we'll be able to compare financial statements of many organizations because now they're following the same format. Right? Enhances comparability, that is okay. Improved information that supports what we call corporate governance, so that I could easily give you a mark. Yes. That organizations that produce, ladies and gentlemen, financial statements here that are IPSAS compliant will be able to provide information that enable these companies here to be run professionally. Companies in this case here that produce IPSAS compliant financial statements, in terms of corporate governance, we shall be able to get the true picture that will be able to tell us the extent of complying with the corporate governance dictates. Because remember, IPSAS, for example, you are told to offer explanatory notes to the figures that we have. For example, you are told that whenever the directors in these institutions do business with our government agencies, we must have a disclosure through what we call related party transactions. When you try, in this case, as much as possible to scoop information to do with related parties, information in this case here that are even bringing in like significant customers that we have, significant donors among the ones who did donations, then automatically we are swimming into the pool of what we call corporate governance. I love that. Consistency, yes, because of the similarity, especially in terms of what your structure. Now, could you kindly tell me, give me 3 disadvantages or 3 drawbacks that have made implementation of IPSAS in Kenya here to be quite an uphill. Why has it not been a smooth process to implement IPSAS in Kenya? Because if you look at Kenya here, Kenya organizations, we are still, ladies and gentlemen, using the cash-based accounting system. Very many government agencies have not adopted the accrual-based IPSAS. what do you think are the major challenges of IPSAS implementation in our country, Kenya? I like what somebody is saying there. Number one, concept of time consuming. Because the moment, ladies and gentlemen, we go the IPSAS way, for example, we must develop an asset register, property, plant, and equipment register. Some of these government institutions, their PPE, I mean, they're spread all over. If, for example, today you are told in this case you have to come up with a PPE register for Kenya Defense Forces, I'm so sure that PPE register will take you more than 5 years to come up with it. Thank you very much. Number two, I can see resistance from employees is a key thing because of corruption. Many people fear accountability. Many people fear transparency. And those are the tenets on which IPSAS is built on. Lack of trained and competent staff to implement IPSAS. Adam says it's quite expensive to implement what here IPSAS. I agree with that. How comes you guys are not getting many points from you? And you are so many. Thank you very much. I can see we are at 110, 110, 110, 110. Yeah, and remember, you are getting this great free of charge class today from RCM Online College, the publishers of these books, serious guys in the market, serious guys in the market. And then what so many students have asked me to do this semester, now that Mwalimu is on leave up to next week on Tuesday, Mwalimu, is it possible you give us those 100 bob, 1 hour lessons, 100 bob, 1 hour lessons? Yes, and of course, those 100 bob classes, of course, will be available to students who had not paid fees, to us. If you had paid fees to us, if you happen to be in any of our paid groups, you don't pay. If, for example, I'm teaching today financial reporting and you had paid us, you are in the financial reporting paid group, then you will not pay that 100. The 100 will be paid by outsiders. I'm so sure like now here, there are very many. There are very many. There are very, very many. So what do you think of that idea of 100 bob? Not even 150, just 100 bob in every class. Like now, today, if I charge the 100, I would have easily gotten 10,000 shillings. I would be a rich man per hour. What if I had bought recorded classes? That one automatically, unfortunately, you have to pay, because now how will I be sharing the link with you? Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, so I want to get to serious business. I want to get to serious business of today, because I can see time is not on our side. Serious business of today. And this serious business of today is about doing 2 past paper questions, one from CPA section 3 and another one from CPA section 6. How could I use section? I mean, and now we are talking of levels. Now we are talking of levels. Now we are talking of levels. We should not talk over. Right. All right. Now, fortunately, those 100 bob classes will be coming early in the morning. Like today, I did a leadership and management class very early in the morning, right? Like today, I'll be having advanced financial management in the evening. Advanced financial management in the evening. So you need to join us. You need, in this case here, to get to one of our WhatsApp groups for you to be able to enjoy, for you to be able to enjoy, for you to be able to get that information. And for you to be able to get information about classes that we shall be offering, ladies and gentlemen, you can come to my WhatsApp. Talk to me on WhatsApp. My number is quite easy, 0719 525,000. My number is very easy. My number is 0719 525,000. The easiest number. The easiest number, 0719 525,000. When you write a message to me, tell me your section, I'll be able to add you to my relevant groups. uweze kupita hii kitu round 1, hataki kwenda round 2. Hataki kwenda round 2, hataki kwenda round 2. Tunataka round 1. Round 1 ukuwa umemaliza hii maneno round 1. Kwenda round 2, that's quite a bad thing. Great. So I'm trying to open some literature here. I'm trying to open some literature here. Fortunately, now I have it. It's page number 172 of our revision kits. Page number 172. Page number 172. Page number 172. Great. This one was tested in CPA section 3. CPA section 3, CPA section 3, but it's so important also for the students who are in CPA section. It's applicable to both. Applicable to both. The IPSAS are applicable to both levels. So if you guys are able to see my screen, we are told here the following summarizes is a summary of receipts and payments, which was extracted from the records of the Ministry of Finance for the fiscal year ended 30th June 2013. So we had actual, we had original budget, and then we had final budget like that. The statement, they want us to do a statement of comparison of budget and the actual amounts for the fiscal year ended 30th June 2013 in accordance with IPSAS 24, presentation of budgetary information in financial statements. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are doing advanced management accounting, there is this concept that we normally teach you that when you have the original budget, you had done your original budget much earlier, right? At times, there could be things which crop up during the year or even before the start of the year, which may necessitate revision of your budget. So then we'll be having original budget, and then of course we have to revise, like Corona has hit us. So we have the revised budget. And then lastly, then of course we'll have the actual information for purposes of measuring what year variances. Now listen to me very well. In terms of IPSAS, whenever you revise your budget, the original budget becomes irrelevant. In terms of IPSAS, of course, I know in AMA, I'll be calculating what we call planning variances. I'll be calculating what we call operational variances. But for us, because here today we are looking at IPSAS, International Public Sector Accounting Standards, whenever we revise a budget and come up with what we call the final budget, whenever we revise like that, automatically the original budget becomes irrelevant. And when it becomes irrelevant, what I'll need to do in an exam is to come and cancel the column of this original budget is useless now. So what I'll do is to copy this entire actual column and the final budget column, and of course these other things. We copy them very fast down. We are copying them. Please help me copy this very fast. I hope you guys are writing this as I write. So I have receipts. Here. Receipts, what do we have? We have taxation. We have borrowings. We have trading activities. We have aid from international agencies. We have disposal of assets. And then we have other receipts. And then we go straight away to the payments. I'm copying this down. Let me drop this a little bit for you to see what I'm doing. So I'm basically copying that entire table the way it is. And then here I'll be having actual versus what here final budget. This is what I'm doing basically. Let me ask you a question. Where has the original budget gone to? 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 We don't want to know. The original budget has become irrelevant. Anytime we say it, anytime we do any revisions to our budget here because things have changed, then the original budget has to be dropped. Thank you very much, Moses, has to be dropped. So go to the payment section. What do we have under the payment section? Under the payment section, we have defense, education, we have defense, we have edu, we have health, we have housing, and then lastly, we have others. So now my work this afternoon is to copy these figures very first. So taxation is 800. We have, ladies and gentlemen, 400, 800, 400. 400, 800, 400, that is aid. And then we have disposals, 800 and 200. 800 and then 200 for the others. And then for the payments, what do we have for the payments? For the payments, defense, ladies and gentlemen, defense is 800. Defense is 800. Education is 1200. Education is 1200. And then we have health is 400. 400, 320. Others is 800. I know I'll have to adjust my camera a little bit. But before I adjust, now I'm copying the final budget. Final budget, we have 1120 here. Final budget, we have 1120. Then we have 480, 840, 480, 840. Then we have 360. 360. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have 360. Then we have 760. 760. Then we have 280. Great. And then we go to the payment side of final budget. 720, 1200. 720, 1200. 720, 1200. We have 400, 400, 400. Then we have 360, 360. And then we have what we call 760, like that. So please, once you finish copying this table, mention Y for yes. 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 And remember, for the students who are joining us here for the very first time online classes, what ambao tumekuwa wanajua, once ime display document kwa screen, unafanya aje? Unaipiga picha chua. Unaipiga picha chua. Inakuwa easier for your future reference. Inakuwa easier for your future reference. Right. Wamesema yes. Sasa kumbukeni, ladies and gentlemen, IPSAS here tells us whenever we have a final budget and the actual here, the next thing that we need to do is to come and create a variances report. Come and create a variances report. Come and create a variances report. You create a variances report. I should display again. I take 1 minute. Please pick a copy. Pick a picture. Pick a picture. Once you finish, kindly, please tell me that you are through with this. Once you finish, kindly tell me that you are through with it. Great. We don't have time to display. Yes, thank you very much, Adam. Now we are okay. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, variance means that you are subtracting. So could you kindly subtract? Take 800 minus 1120. 800 minus 1120 gives us what figure? Somebody, variance means subtraction. Variance means subtraction. 800 minus 1120 gives us what figure? 800 minus 1120 gives me minus 320. Now, let me ask you a question. This 320, is it supposed to be an adverse variance or a favorable variance? Does it favor you or it's unfavorable? Somebody, the 320. Is it good variance or bad variance? Wanasema adverse wengi because remember this is all about what here? This is all about a receipt, taxation. In taxation, we budgeted to receive 1120, but we ended up getting actually a smaller amount. Will that make you happy or unhappy? Will that make you happy or unhappy? You budgeted to get 1120, but you've gotten much less. Unhappy. It's adverse. Why happy, Mengich? Mengich, assuming wewe ni commissioner kwa KRA, wewe ni commissioner kwa KRA, umeambia wa jamaa, please, target zetu ni 1120, lakini wakuletea actually 800, Mengich, will you be happy really? If you are the president, for example, will you be happy? No, you can't be happy. They have generated less than you anticipated. So in this case here, automatically, this is what here adverse. But now remember, according to IPSAS 24, we're not supposed to write adverse. Ikiwa ni adverse, inafaa useme negative hivi, you know, negative 320. Because it is eating onto your surplus. Negative 320. Aya, unaenda straight away kwa ya pili, niandike negative what? Kwa ya pili the variance. Kwa ya pili the variance. What are we able to get there? The variance kwa ya pili. The variance kwa ya pili, what are we able to get? Negative 80. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're supposed to know is that for receipts, normally we talk of A, B, C, D, abacha. Da A, for receipts, we normally talk of A, B, which is A minus B. For receipts, we normally talk of A minus B. Nimeandika mali kamera yoni. For receipts, it's A, B, it's A minus B. It is actual minus budget. Alafu naandika hizo signs vile ziko. Kama hapa nitasema 800 minus 840, it's minus 40. Hata sitakuwa na jali, minus 40. Nikija hapa 400 minus 360, 400 minus 360. Now this gives me a positive what here? This gives me a positive 40 like that. 800 minus 760 gives me a positive 40. This one here, 200 minus 280, gives me what? Somebody here gives me minus 80. Gives me minus 80. So could you kindly give me the total variance for receipts? Total variance for receipts, please take minus 320 plus minus 80 plus minus 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus minus 80. What total are we getting here for receipts? Wanasema it is minus 440. Morris ananipatia minus 440. Thank you very much. How about payments? So sasa ikija kwa payments, haitaki ufikirie sana. Payments una reverse. Payments ukitaka usipate mashida, una reverse. Unakuja hapo unaandika payments. Payments unasema ni B minus A. Payments unasema ni B minus A. Ni budget minus actual. Budget minus actual. Kama sasa hapa payment ya kwanza ni 720 minus 800. Inakuja ngapi somebody? Budget minus actual. Budget minus actual. Please give me the figures. Because sitaki uanze kuenda kuinterpret sana. Sitaki uanze kuinterpret sana. So wananiambia kwamba ya kwanza hapa ni minus 80. And really this is a negative. Why? It's an adverse variance. Why? Because I had budgeted to spend 720, but I spent more. But normally with my experience, once you start making such interpretations, you'll always get it wrong. You're not supposed to keep on making so many interpretations. Ukienda kwa exam, regardless kama column ya wanafunzi wameuliza tu mwalimu column gani nafaa kwa ya kwanza, it doesn't matter. Hata ukiweka budget hapa, actual hapa. Well, so long as ukumbuke receipts, it's A, B, C, D. Receipts, it's A minus B. It's actual minus budget. And then for payments, we take B minus A. So umeniambia ya kwanza mwalimu defense andika minus 80. J ya education niandike ngapi somebody? Ya education niandike ngapi? Education niandike ngapi? Wamesema 0. Thank you very much. 0 is neutral number. Health niandike pia 0. Alafu nikuja kwa housing niandike ngapi somebody? Housing niandike ngapi? Housing, wanasema housing, it is 360 minus 320, which gives us 40, like that. And then we have the last one, which is 760 minus 800. 760 minus 800, which gives me minus 40. Thank you very much. So then could you kindly give me the total? Give me the total for the payments, the total variance for the payment. the total variance for the payment. What do we have there? The total variance for the payments. Total variance for the payments. Total variance for the payments. Total variance for the payments unasema ni minus 880. Minus 88, minus 80, I mean. Minus 80 like that. The total variance for payment is minus 80. And therefore, the total budget outturn. Therefore, the total budget outturn, the total budget outturn, we call it outturn. Itakuwa the variance for what here, somebody? For the receipts plus the variance of the payments, which is minus 80. So what is the total budget outturn? What is the total budget outturn? Minus 520, minus 520, like that. And by the time you finish doing this, automatically now you've complied with the dictates of what here? Dictates of IPSAS 24. Presentation of budgetary information. Presentation of budgetary information. This time around, if they bring this kind of a question to Section 6 students, very many of them will see dust. Very many of them will see dust, but I believe with what I've shown them here, this is quite helpful to them. True or false? Have you been able to pick a concept? Have you been able to pick a concept, ladies and gentlemen? Have you been able to understand this? Have you been able to, you know, it's high level. It's called the helicopter revision. Helicopter revision. I don't stay here forever. It's helicopter attach. Very helpful. Thank you very much. And if you allow me, of course, before you delete, remember there is that free mark which can easily come to you, the one of writing titles. Like now you can come and talk about ministry of whatever. I know you guys, for the years that I've ever marked this thing, I know there is nobody who loses this mark of writing the titles. You'll always get even consolidation, group consolidation. A student will come and write pedantic group statement of financial position as at, and then they underline very well. And then down there, you look down there, there is nothing they have written. But the title is what here is correct. That can give you 1 mark, and that 1 mark can make you see places that you have never seen before. So can I rub this? 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 Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember we are giving you this live class. This live class from RCM Online College, and we are having a very, very good revision program for you people, where we shall be charging you Kenya shillings 100 only per lesson. Kenya shillings 100 only per lesson, for you to be able to get more information about this wonderful revision program. Could you kindly hit on us straight away by calling us or going to our WhatsApp, and then we'll be able to give you more information about these lunch hour classes, early morning classes for leadership and management, 4 a.m., right? We have, in this case, the classes in the evening. We have financial reporting classes. We have advanced financial reporting classes. Please get your timetable from us here, from a lady called Caro. We shall be able to really charge you something very modest per lesson, and of course ensure that you get value for money. So David is asking us a very important question, like in advanced management accounting. Can you be asked to explain the causes of the variances? Where do we have these variations? Where do we have variations? If I'm asked that kind of a question, I'll be able to tell you so many reasons. Number one, of course, we have faulty what here? Prediction models, faulty prediction models, right? Like in those good old days when we could get these people from the weather stations telling us, you know what, this particular year there is going to become a lot of drought, and in the same year we get El Nino, right? So faulty prediction models, right? And of course we have unforeseen what here? Unforeseen events. We had planned that come 2020. There is even a lady who sang that 2020 will be the most beautiful, the best year, right? Right? Akasema 2020. Mnamjua huyo kweli 2020. Right? So because of that kind of expectation, we're able to put our revenues up there, but Corona came and hit us. So what do? Of course, we have to take figures down. And once we keep on taking figures down and whatever, the actual versus budget here can never be the same. We expect a variation, etc., etc. And again, the other thing that I would want you guys to appreciate from the word go, if you go to any exam and then you get these guys giving you a theory question that perhaps you do not understand, what are you supposed to do if you get a theory question that you don't understand? You should never leave theory questions unanswered. Anytime you get a theory question, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't understand, simply start by first of all copying the question up there. Repeat that question. And then I'll start working with that question in reverse, using very good conjunctions in English, right? However, moreover, nevertheless, keep on. In most cases, whenever papers are very difficult, especially for papers like financial reporting, advanced financial reporting, advanced financial management, we've seen situations where CASNEB comes and says, hey, we can't have, in this case here, all these guys failing, I mean. So then what do? Let's get away. Let's get away over lifting these guys up by doing what? You're giving them some marks here and there on these theory questions, like free marks, that is. And whenever that happens, trust you me, anybody who has blank spaces gets nothing, gets nothing. So in this particular case, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that it is important for you to go to an exam and ensure that you turn all the stones, including the stones that you really think are so heavy. Just try to turn them over by using, in this case here, those filler words. However, alafu andike kitoto understand, nataka ni mother tongue yako, etc. We shall overcome. Very, very important. We shall overcome. Haya. So nataka kwenda kushare sasa kitabu ya section 6. So as I share this particular book of CPA section 6, and I do one question from also this area, is there a student this time around who went to any college, physical college, to study CPA? Is there any student who went to any physical college? I'm not asking the name of the college, but is there any student who went to any physical college to study? Any physical college to study? Anybody who went to any physical, who was attending some physical classes this time around? Is there anybody who was attending physical classes this time? They're not talking to me, and I would really want to help them. They're not talking to me. They're not talking to me. Is there anybody who went for these classes to some physical college? Physical college means ulikuwa ukienda kama ni evening, unatoka Upper Hill, unaenda kutafuta class, unaketi chini unafunzwa, unaketi chini unafunzwa. Kunaye kweli ama nyote mlikuwa online? Please niambieni ukweli. Please niambieni ukweli woye. Mkiniambia ukweli ndio nitaendelea kufunza. Niambieni ukweli woye. Vile mniambia ukweli imebidi ninyamaze mpaka ningoje mniambie ukweli. Vile mniambia ukweli inabidi ninyamaze. Now, you know, mostly these guys will get some questions from section 6 when I throw section 3, and the section 3 questions at times will get them being thrown in section 6 advanced level. So please be very keen, especially whenever I try to mix you. Great, 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 great. They haven't yet answered my question. They haven't yet answered my question. Good, good, good. I'm here now. Segmental reporting, IPSAS segmental reporting. Why do I have a feeling that that thing is very important? But unfortunately, I only have 3 minutes. I can't manage to do that. But of course, I should be able to do that in our tomorrow's lunch hour class. Great. Why am I not getting this thing? Let me search for it. Control find. Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have so much in terms of these standards, like sorry. Great. Now I found it. Now I found it. Now here we are. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Advanced level. Very easy stuff. Okay. So it's a whole chapter also for the ones who are doing advanced FR. Advanced FR, when we talk of public sector, it's a whole chapter and very easy chapter for you. Very easy chapter for you. For those of you who have got this revision kit of ours, you simply go to page number 100. Yeah, topic 5. Topic 5, right? Page number 125. Page number 125, page number 125. Like you can see, the first one is on operating segments. According to operating segments, of course, happens to be in IFRS, at the same time IPSAS. So let me see, what can we do in the next? Again, it's operating segment. segment reporting. So unfortunately, there is no question that we can easily tackle at the moment of IPSAS from this particular level. Now, because of time, you will excuse us, and then, of course, ensure that we meet tomorrow. We meet tomorrow, the same time. Don't forget our number, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed the class. Kujisomea, great. Yeah, hakuna haja ya kuenda college, physical college anywhere. Saizi, you see like now the students ambao tumekuwa now, you can imagine straight away, tukimaliza lesson kama hii, this, of course, lesson has been recorded. I share with you the recording. Things really flow very well. Now we are in this era, ladies and gentlemen, where we are supposed to be very good in terms of what here ICT. Remember, as accountants, our working space has now gone virtual throughout. Talk of ERP systems, SAP, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, right now you can do accounting over a company from Kenya here, over a company which is based in the US. So given that our systems have gone virtual, it will be very important also for us to ensure that we start our trainings, doing all our trainings virtually. And that is why even for Excel, like now I have a very wonderful Excel program which will be coming over very soon, which we're charging you 4,000 Kenya shillings. This Excel is purely online. And it's important for you to attend it, because at the end of the day, as an accountant who does not know Excel, you are a useless accountant. I should speak even more silently. Yeah, if you don't know how to pivot information, you don't know how to index information, you don't know how to use what we call slice and dice, you don't know the VLOOKUP, you don't know the HLOOKUP, how do you prepare financial statements of your company honestly? And remember, Excel is the most important platform, accounting software that we have. If you look at iTax, it's premised on Excel. All these softwares, their base is Excel. So we need to understand Excel very well. And that is why I would want you guys to join our advanced Excel, which will be coming in December. And this is our number, of course, if you would want to do what here to make any inquiries. Otherwise, for now, bye-bye. Thank you very much.